Let's get to the latest on all the political developments in Maharashtra. Well, Ajit Pawar has filed his nomination from Baramati, which has been a Pawar stronghold for decades now. See the live pictures, in fact, coming in of Ajit Pawar filing his nomination papers. Remember, he's currently the Deputy Chief Minister of Maharashtra, but he's fighting a very crucial battle in Baramati. It's going to be Pawar versus Pawar, in fact, this time around as well. In Baramati, it's Ajit Pawar versus his nephew in Baramati. In Lok Sabha polls as well, we saw a Pawar versus Pawar battle play out in Baramati. With Supriya Sule up against Ajit Pawar's wife. In fact, that's something that Ajit Pawar said later as well, that was a mistake, turning against one's own family. In fact, Ajit Pawar had also said that he has fought election multiple times. He's fought elections almost 6 to 8 times, and now perhaps he wants to focus more on building his party, but that clearly didn't stand, because here he is filing his nomination papers, all set to contest his nephew from Baramati. Let's quickly try and listen into what Supriya Sule earlier had to say. Of course, the Sharad Pawar NCP has been taking jibes at the Ajit Pawar NCP. So on the day when her brother is filing a nomination, listen into what Ajit Pawar's sister Supriya Sule had to say.
It's not a personal fight for me ever. Even when I fought my Lok Sabha, I said the same thing. That it was never a personal fight for me. It's an ideological fight for me. It's unfortunate. Abhi, look at what is happening. Look at Mengai. Look at Berozgari. Look at the corruption. It's terrible in this state. Look at the GST issues. Look, ask any farmer if when you are traveling here that what is this? It is, for me, it's never personal. Even in the Lok Sabha, I never made it personal, because for me it's an ideological fight. It's not the person. I'm fighting against the policies of Government of India. I'm fighting against the policies of Government of Maharashtra.
बारामतीकर बहुत अच्छे वोटों से मुझे जिताएंगे, ऐसा मुझे भरोसा है। मैंने सुप्रिया के खिलाफ मेरे पत्नी को खड़ा किया, वो मेरी भूल थी। ये भूल वापिस इन्होंने नहीं करनी चाहिए थी, लेकिन की है। आखिर वोटर उसके बारे में डिसीजन लेंगे।
So it's a day of big nominations, certainly in Maharashtra. Well, what you see on the left-hand side of your screen is Eknath Shinde holding that massive road show, as he's also all set to file his nomination papers, and he's flanked by the other Deputy Chief Minister of Maharashtra, Devendra Fadnavis, and Ajit Pawar here filing his nomination papers from Baramati. Let me go across to my colleague Anuj Rayate joining us live. So, Anuj, for Ajit Pawar, it's a very crucial battle. He had, of course, said a couple of weeks back that, he's fought the elections multiple times, and that, he perhaps wants to now focus on building his party. But here he is filing nomination papers, perhaps for the 7th or 8th time, I would believe. And Baramati is going to witness another Pawar versus Pawar battle. Second time in 1 year.
Well, yes. If you look at the political happenings here in Maharashtra for the past 5 to 6 months, or even for a year, the trajectory has been the most interesting for Ajit Pawar. Well, when I say interesting, I don't necessarily mean it in a positive way. He of course became the Deputy Chief Minister in the state of Maharashtra in the Mahayuti government as well. But the last Lok Sabha elections did not go very well for him. He tried to put all his power, all his strength behind his wife Sunitra Pawar when she was fighting it out against Supriya Sule for the prestigious seat of Baramati, but then lost out, although he got a lot of vote for his wife, but then eventually she lost out. Now where we are at the moment, this is the first time that the Pawar versus Pawar battle is going to take place in a state assembly election, and it will be interesting to see, because it is the second generation uncle versus nephew rivalry. Now when you look at Baramati's state assembly constituency, ever since 1991, the constituency has trusted Ajit Pawar pretty much blindly, and of course Ajit Pawar has cited a lot of development work that he is conducting in that particular constituency for the last 30 years, and this is the time when he'll probably have to prove his worth, because it is not the NCP Sharad Pawar brand which is siding with him anymore. It is not the Pawar brand either which is totally siding with him anymore, but it is just Ajit Pawar whose goodwill will be tested at this particular point of time. We're seeing that the entire political machinery of Sharad Pawar faction of NCP is behind Yugendra. Yugendra is Ajit Pawar's elder brother's son. and they are completely backing him to win. We saw the amount of response that he got for his rally when they started by visiting the traditional temples that there in the village. But at the same time, Ajit Pawar is not willing to hold it back. He had made it very clear in the beginning that it was a mistake to make his wife fight against his sister, and what he believes has happened right now is the opposite of which is done by Mahavikas Aghadi or by Sharad Pawar in specific. So the result of this particular battle is going to determine the political future of a lot of leaders, but especially Ajit Pawar, one of the foremost and veteran leaders here in Maharashtra's politics, and more importantly so because in 2019 Baramati's the biggest vote difference in the entire state was from Baramati. He got the maximum number of votes in the 2019 state assembly election.
Sure.
So he will be probably the toughest fight that Yugandhar Pawar will ever fight, and that being his first fight makes it even more interesting.
Absolutely, but in the 2024 Lok Sabha polls, perhaps more recent comparison, we did see how Ajit Pawar almost faced a kind of a drubbing in Maharashtra, and the debate about who is really the real NCP was more or less settled, as many political pundits would point out. But Anuj, Eknath Shinde is also filing his nomination papers today, and he is fighting another crucial battle. Many termed him the accidental chief minister after the 2022 coup, but here he is, the strong man leading the Mahayuti, leading the NDA in Maharashtra, and for him as well, it's a very, very crucial battle and very interesting optics, in fact, with Eknath Shinde being flanked by the other Deputy Chief Minister of Maharashtra, Devendra Fadnavis.
Very interesting optics indeed, because the rise and the evolution of Eknath Shinde has been tremendous ever since he became the Chief Minister of the state, to many people's surprise, in 2022. And ever since then, he's not just made sure that he leaves his mark as the Chief Minister, but also as a people's leader. You very rightly said that the comparison should be drawn on a more recent basis by looking at what happened in the Lok Sabha election, and that should also be applied to Shiv Sena, because when we look at Shiv Sena's performance as far as Eknath Shinde is concerned in the recently held 2024 Lok Sabha election, as far as the strike rate is concerned, it was better for Eknath Shinde as compared to Uddhav Thackeray. That puts him in a very interesting position when it comes to putting his take on which is the real Shiv Sena, regardless of the brand which comes with a surname or not. But what is interesting here is that Eknath Shinde started his campaign by visiting Anand Dighe's ashram, whom he considers his political guru. But at the same time, his opponent is Anand Dighe's nephew himself. Kedar Dighe will be fighting it out against Eknath Shinde. So the goodwill of Anand Shinde that Eknath Shinde has been trying to capitalize on right since day one after the split from the Shiv Sena. He tried to validate that split by giving ideological reason. So one icon that he used all this while was Anand Dighe. But now UBT faction of Shiv Sena have played a very important card by putting Anand Dighe's nephew himself fight against the incumbent Chief Minister of the state, Eknath Shinde. So the battle is very well poised, and it will be interesting to see how strong the brand Dighe is, or is the brand Eknath Shinde already become stronger than Anand Dighe's.
And Anuj, is also interesting that both the alliances are hoping that this gamble of going into the election without a chief minister face would pay off. Whether it's a Mahayuti or the Mahavikas Aghadi, neither of the alliances has revealed, the chief minister face, though of course all of them have claimed that they have stakes. The regional satraps particularly saying that, well, they have stakes, and Uddhav Thackeray, for example, and his faction has said that Uddhav Thackeray should return as a chief minister. Eknath Shinde, well, Devendra Fadnavis has pitched for him multiple times over, but no clarity on who is the chief minister face for either of the alliances.
Either of the alliances have stayed away from putting out a CM face, and that is probably because Maharashtra's politics has never really seen the alliances of this sort coming in, as far as pre-poll alliance is concerned, of course, coming into the election, because both the alliances, as strong as they might want to show themselves right in the face of the public, but we all know that the alliances are not the strongest, especially when it comes to on the ideological side. On Mahavikas Aghadi, we've had Shiv Senas, that is Uddhav Thackeray Shiv Sena and Congress, who've built their entire career by speaking against each other. They are sitting together, while on the other side you have someone like Ajit Pawar joining hands with Devendra Fadnavis and Eknath Shinde, whom especially against Devendra Fadnavis, he's had a long history as far as electoral battle is concerned. So the link that joins both these two alliances is very weak, which is why I'm putting a face out in the open. They're thinking that the harm that would be caused because of that would be much greater than the net profit that they'll probably gain out of it. They do not want votes to be shared, because it's not clearly an ideological battle. We are seeing that there are centrist and quote-unquote progressive parties on both the ends, and there are Hindutva parties on both the ends. So it's clearly not an ideological battle, but it is a very political battle, and both the alliances are trying to play it out very smartly by not putting any one face out in the open, as that would really that would really lead to a lot of rumblings within the alliances. And we are seeing that before the 29th, that is tomorrow, which is the last day to file the nomination, all the rivalries that are coming out in the open are less between the MVA and Mahayuti, but more within the alliances themselves. So we are seeing that what would the situation would have been if in case there was a CM face been put out there.